First of all, politeness. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on when you are watching this video. Second of all, welcome to my YouTube channel, Preso na Língua. I'm Fernando Morato. I'm a teacher of Portuguese and literature here in Brazil, and I'm here at this online platform trying to share a little bit of my acquaintances with poetry, mostly in Portuguese, my native tongue. But why not in English? I've been working with English and I've lived in the United States for 7 years during my PhD, and I can easily try to switch languages and help a little bit. Also, my good friend Dave reminded me that it's Poetry Appreciation Month. Therefore, I said, why not? This is the chance I was waiting for to share a little bit of my taste about my intuitions and the things I like. Let's look at poetry.
Olha pra poesia.
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 Of course, if I'm talking about poetry, one very important thing is to talk in the original language of the poem. Why? Because poetry is a very peculiar way of speaking in which we condense lots of information in one single statement, in one single utterance. Therefore, we have to be aware of the features that each language has to convey certain contents. And I think I have a great example, one of the many poems by Caitlyn Siehl, which I take from her first book, What We Bird. And this poem is called Girl. Girl, bite. Girl, devour. Girl, don't forgive. Girl, stay angry. Girl, be selfish. There is no place that can handle you. But you must go anyway to the hills, the mountains, the cities. They will call you monster, and they will be so right. Girl, show them. Girl, run your hands along the wound and seal it with your heart. Cauterize. They thought they could get to you. They thought they could take and make you small. There may be bruises, but you are not little thing. Girl, show them your claws. Show them your wings. Rise. Show them your army of injuries who have come to fight. Show them the others like you. Take over the city, on the mountains, by the hand and the one behind their back with all the good stuff. Girl, show your teeth. Never forget what you can do with them. It's a powerful poem, a very interesting one. Caitlyn Siehl has this very authentic style. She writes with her guts, which, let's remind you a little bit, it's always interesting, it's not enough. Writing with your guts may be a good beginning, but it's not enough to get to poetry, because everybody has guts. Not everybody has the ability to show their guts on the paper and convey their feelings with proper words. Caitlyn Siehl has this ability, and that's one of the greatness of her poems. They are so authentic, and not authentic because she necessarily has lived those things she writes about. She probably did, but the major thing is that she finds the proper way to convey those feelings. In this case, it's very easy to spot her major feature in this poem, the repetition of the word girl and one command: girl, bite, girl, devour, girl, don't forgive. It's interesting, the powerfulness of this statement, of this line, relies on the repetition and above all on the shortness of the word girl. I tried to translate this poem into Portuguese and I had a really hard time. Why? Because the word girl in Portuguese would be garota or maybe menina. The same in Spanish. The difference between girl, bite, girl, devour, and garota, morda, garota, devore, we lose all the powerfulness of these simple statements because the word is too long. The word has 3 syllables in Portuguese or in Spanish, but in English one single syllable is very assertive. And it fits perfectly the assertiveness of the content of this poem, which tries to incentivize little girls or older girls, or girls as a whole, to be themselves, to overcome this terrible world for women. Because this world will call you girls a monster. And they will be so right, changing the game, changing the expectations of, okay, they will call you a monster and you are not. No, you are. You are, because you have teeth, you have claws, you have ways to bite. First verb of the poem, girl, bite. This idea of fighting back, the world will call you a monster. They thought they could get you. Yeah, they thought they could diminish you. And this is a perfect way of modeling in words this repetitive word, girl, 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 stands against this whole society displayed against women. What follows? Show them your claws, show them your wings. It's beautiful how Caitlyn Siehl is saying that the ability to harm is the same ability of spreading your wings and fly, getting over this everyday humiliation that many girls are submitted to. Because those humiliations harm, and they will create an army of wounds that you will use to fight against this merciless world that tries to constrain the greatness of women. It's a beautiful poem. It's very powerful, as I said, and it's interesting because first time I got acquainted with the work of Caitlyn Siehl was on Facebook, and it was misattributed because it got to me as a poem by Charles Bukowski, another writer who writes with his guts. Because many times he wrote with his guts specifically to diminish some women. It's very controversial if Bukowski himself was pro-women or against women, but we have to overcome this biographical readings and focus on the texts, focus on the poems. And the poems he wrote are extremely powerful in praising women, but praising in a very different level when compared with Caitlyn Siehl. What brings both poetries together is the fact that they are great manifestations of this ability of converting their guts into texts. And a beautiful ending of the poem. Girl, show them your teeth and never forget what you can do with them. And it's marvelous, this ambiguity of the end, because them whom the teeth, or them who you are showing the teeth to. What you can do with your teeth, you can bite. What you can do with them, you can overcome them. And this is one of the beautiful things about poetry, that it might be ambiguous, and because of that, it demands from the reader to choose sides, to choose options, to choose and to use their own guts to read. Read with your guts. Does it make sense? The best way to see if it makes sense or if it make not is looking at poetry again. Let's look at poetry again.